Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the FB4 Daily for Wednesday, the 17th of July. I'm your host, Gav, as usual. I'm on my own tonight. I've nobody helping. I'm all on my own, apart from with you, lovely people. What are we going to get into tonight? Little bit about the goalkeeping situation, a little bit about Lovren and the AC Milan coming in and going back out again, and stuff like that. Barry Carr says Ziyech on the list. Yeah, we'll have a little talk about him. Stephen says Pepe is hotting up. I'll come back to you on that. Chris is in. Hey Chris, how are you? But the first one I want to talk about is left back. I got a message on Twitter literally 5 minutes before I came on, and it was about it was just something that grabbed my attention, and I'm going to tell you who it was now, because I'm always forgetting people's names, and when I forget people's names, it's not fair. His name was Mark Roberts, and he says, what about Danny Rose as left back cover? I think that is an unbelievable show. I really do. Marcus, I don't know if Mark's watching or he's not watching, but I really like that show, and the reason I like it is because I was watching a thing on Sky Sports News earlier, and it was about Spurs, and Kieran Trippier had gone to Atletico Madrid for 22 odd million. What's the other lad? Aurier. Apparently he is being offered around as well. He can leave, and apparently Danny Rose is being left out of their travelling squad for whatever they're going for pre-season, and he's being told to find himself a club. So Danny Rose, what do we think of that? I think that's a great show. I really do. I think he's good quality. Linked with United last season, was it? There was a little hint of maybe City looking at him as well. It was in around the 40 million mark. I think he thought he was going to United at one stage, and kind of he might have down tools, but I think he's had I could be completely wrong when I say this, but I get the feeling he's had a few mental health issues. That's just what I'm going. That's just something in my head, that he feels a bit down about football and stuff like that. I think it was getting him down. Barry Carr said they're going to go with Fight by the looks of it. I think that might be a big risk for them. Rose will be wanting that England spot. Only him and Chilwell in the running. Yeah, it's a fair show. I suppose, over the left back. But no, I just wanted to see what people thought of Danny Rose. Yay or nay? What do you think? It was just one that come up. Mark Roberts threw it at me around about 9:45 this evening, and I thought, yeah, that's a good show. Just following on from what I'd seen on the telly. Barry Carr, can't argue with it. Trippier and Aurier, both subs, Champions League final level for sure. Yeah, I think so. I think they're good. I think they're quite good in what they do. They're okay. But we'll have to wait and see. Kieran Smith says, I saw you replying to Rob Gutman earlier. What makes you think Coutinho's coming back? Not saying he's definitely coming back, but I genuinely can't see a world in which he does. I don't know. Listen, we spoke about this on the FB4. We spoke about it on the club. We had this discussion. I've had this discussion 2 or 3 times, and I have said I'd take him back. I have genuinely said that, but I said I can't see him coming back. There's just something doesn't sit right with me when I say he doesn't come back now. There's a lot of talk. I know it's not solid. I know it's not complete, cast iron, information, but there seems to be an awful lot going around about this. Frank says, Gav, can you tell people that Coutinho would walk into our team? Yeah, would he walk into our team? I'm not. You see, I very rarely look at starting 11s. I really don't. I look at a squad and I think, is our squad better with Philippe Coutinho in it for the right deal? Yes, it is. It absolutely is. The talk going around today is that the players have been approached about it and have absolutely no issue with him coming back to Liverpool, and it's down to Klopp. Chris says, Grizz tweeted that Barca are offering offering LFC Coutinho for 60 million. Did he do that? I don't know if he done that. I was talking to a couple of people earlier. It was not Grizz. I can tell you it was not Grizz before we go on. And 2 of them, hand on heart, are saying, no, this is going to happen. Jacob says, do you reckon Pepe gets done? I don't know. I think Paris Saint-Germain are favourites. I was looking on Paddy Powers earlier. I think Paris Saint-Germain are favourites. I think we might be second or third favourites. Barcelona have gone odds on with Paddy Powers for Firpo, the left back. I think we're second favourites for Coutinho. At 4-1, I think. Dembele, I think we're second or third favourites as well. But listen, that's all about Paddy Power. I was looking on their app earlier, and that's what I came up with. Just seeing the tweet before show started. This is Grizz's tweet. Okay. I can't message Grizz now while I'm live on this, but if Grizz pops on, I'm sure I'll cop him as he comes on, and I'll make sure to tell you he's all there, and you can all ask him, because I love nothing more than people knowing Grizz. You know that. Me and Matt live for it. Not panicking if Coutinho comes back. He will have to fit into us again, not us to be in debt to him. Says Not Red. He'll be a squad player if he comes back, and we know where he stands. Yeah, it's all about squads. It really is. You know, it is all about a squad, and I look at it and think, I always think, look, if I took, let's say, Adam Lallana out of our squad and put Philippe Coutinho in, do you think we're stronger? Absolutely. If Adam Lallana stays there and we put Coutinho in, are we stronger? Absolutely. You cannot have enough good players. This is not down to Coutinho's talent. There's nothing, you can't argue over this fella's talent. He's had a bad time with Barcelona, but he was their best player for 3 or 4 years. You know, the kind of way he really was. So, Paddy Power were 1-13 for Bruno. Yes, not that high, I don't think. I think they're about 9-1 on. A hell of a lot of money went on Fernandes. But he's gone completely quiet, like completely and utterly quiet. I have a feeling there's an auction going on somewhere behind people's backs. Do you think Klopp will be okay with Coutinho coming back? That's the big question. You know, there's quotes that have come out to say that Klopp tried to tell Barcelona, listen, you think you're buying a player like Iniesta and you're not. He couldn't believe you're willing to pay that amount of money. You know, but I always thought Klopp was really hurt by this transfer. But then again, he could look at it and say, yeah, I can listen. Klopp didn't want Coutinho to leave Liverpool. Let's be honest about it. Who do you think the big signing could be? I genuinely don't know. The name of this show tonight is Clock's Ticking, because you know, when you look at it now, we're on the 17th of July. You have 14 days left in the month. Is that right? 14 plus 7. You've 3 weeks left of the transfer window. Is that right? So you've 3 weeks left. Now a lot can be done in 3 weeks, but you're cutting it a bit fine. And when you go back to things like, Klopp always likes to get his business done early and stuff like that. Now I think that might be a little bit of a myth. Don't get me wrong. I really do, but Ziyech is a name keeps coming up here. I'm going to talk about him now. I completely forgot to tell you about the sponsor. The sponsor tonight, you've seen it on the cue card, is Tree Retro. A great sponsor for us. They're working with us a long time. At Tree Retro _ on Twitter, Tree Retro on Instagram. All your retro football needs. Club football, international football, top stuff. Who was it that won? He won a prize with them last week. Absolutely delighted with it. Picked the Liverpool candy jersey, the silver with the fleck in it. Is Rob Mulholland? Yeah, he won it. Delighted with it. Absolutely delivered really quickly. Tree Retro, top notch. If you're looking for any retro stuff for the new season. Ziyech keeps coming up. I'm going to get to Ziyech in a minute. You see when I think about Coutinho, I forgot about him being a prick. I just keep seeing that beautiful goal against United. Yeah, listen. There's times when you have to go back and just, you know, bury the hatchet and go again. And all I think of is ability, and does he make us stronger? He absolutely does. You know, people are going on about we need to strengthen. That strengthens us. You know, in an area that I don't think is absolute priority where he can play. I've said it before, if Dembele comes up and we can get Dembele over Coutinho, you take Dembele. Not because I'm not knocking Coutinho, I just think Dembele suits us. Pace, power, both good on both feet. Can play right, can play left, can go through the centre if he wants. He can be an out and out winger. He can come inside and play. I think Dembele should be the one. And that's only because Fekir isn't. It looks like Fekir is going to bet this, but apparently the money, I think Frank was telling us yesterday, a lot of money has gone on Valencia for him, because bettors are trying to lowball Leon. Jeez, if we still had a chance for him, I'd be all over it. People are reminding me of all different Coutinho goals. Yeah, look, there's nothing There's nothing about his ability. Is Coutinho and Pepe logical? I don't think so. I think Pepe is definitely being auctioned by his club. The comments coming from their president, different things like that. I definitely think he's being auctioned, but Liverpool aren't going to go near 80 million. I don't think. Let me see. Well, I want to get the goalkeeper, Simon Mignolet. I will get to Ziyech. I promise you. I will get to Ziyech. But Simon Mignolet, it is. It's one of those where he's an experienced goalkeeper at this stage, very experienced, 31 years of age. His agent is telling us that he wants to get out and play regular football. Liverpool aren't willing to loan him. That's a definite, unless they get a really big offer. But is it a bit late? Do you think people think it's a bit late now to be getting rid of your second choice goalkeeper and trying to replace him with someone, and then God forbid anything happens to Alisson? Do we try keep hold of Mignolet and put plans in place over the next 12 months to replace him? What do we think on that? Or do you take that big money and risk? Do you take that money and risk if a big offer comes in? When I say big offer, you're probably looking around 15 million-ish. I'd say that's big enough to get Mignolet, would it? 20? 15 I think is a fair price. What's a fair price for Mignolet? Let me know. But one, what's a fair price? And two, if a fair price comes in, do we take it, or do we keep him in our plans for a year and then we go from there? Frank says Mignolet is a class number 2 and Lovren is a class 4 choice. We are very lucky. Lovren's the next one I wanted to touch on. Milan we're in, Milan we're out, Milan we're in, Milan we're out. They're talking about Eric Boy now at some sort of 20 million, which wouldn't be a bad deal for them. I think Boy is probably the best centre half when he actually plays. Stoker asked for 25 million for Butland. Okay, well then you're looking at 25 million anyway. Yeah, definitely 25 million is outrageous for Butland. He's completely overrated in my opinion. Ziyech, let's talk about it, because Paul Tabley there hasn't mentioned that Ziyech or Bailey would be superb options. Bailey was linked last year, not so much this year, not at all this year, let's be honest. Ziyech apparently is a 25 million buyout. He was talked about going to Spain. It might have been Valencia as well actually, and he didn't really fancy it. But for me, like, for all the hype around Ziyech, 25 million, like any top 10 Premier Leagues, any Premier League team could go in with 25 million for Ziyech and pay that release fee. He may have told his agent there's 8 or 10 clubs around Europe that he'd be willing to go to. It could be one of those. I've seen a little bit of him. He is good. He's an intelligent footballer. Is he that fast? All I keep thinking about when we're going right up top is pace. Absolute pace. Bayern are favourites for Ziyech, apparently, says Frank. Frank is the man in Paddy Power. He's a friend of mine. Okay, Bayern are the favourites for Ziyech. It's just a strange one that it's dragging out this long for a guy that supposedly has this one a 25 million release clause. It's very, very low. Barry Carr says that he's this year's security. He's a bargain. Barry, you're the winner last night of the prize. That prize was posted off to you this morning. It should be with you by Friday. 2 lovely prints from Entire Design. I was a little bit jealous posting them off actually. I should have only given you one because I should have kept one for myself. He was unreal in the Champions League for Ajax. He's a goal scorer and winger. That's a Liverpool all over. Yeah, just tell me. I've seen him a couple of times, and one thing I didn't notice was blind and pace. I think that's crucial in our side out wide, is that blind and pace. And I think he's intelligent enough to play off the wings and replicate maybe what a Mane or a Salah. A Mane probably could do. He reminds me a bit more of the way Mane plays, and Salah's a way more direct. Mane is a little bit more creative and cunning in what he does at times. Ziyech may have other problems, off-field problems, makes sense. You never know. I don't know much about him. I really don't. As I said, I've seen him a couple of times. He was good for Ajax. Someone mentioned to me earlier about Ajax as well. Is there anybody else in that Ajax side you can look at? Now I know they've had De Ligt, I think, is going to Barcelona, Juventus. Him and his agent Raiola Raiola's a disgrace. Did you see him? He was dressed like a bleeding hobo. Well, this fella's gone in to sign us, one of Juventus' biggest ever transfers. But you have him gone. You have the other guy that's gone to Juventus, De Jong. Is there anybody else there? Like Van de Beek has been mentioned. Van de Beek, I think, is a great player. I think he's so underrated at Ajax. But anyone else there? Neres is another one. I know Phil from the Trippers is a massive fan of Neres. Would like literally, fall to his knees and praise all the gods. If we got Neres. Onana, the goalkeeper. I think Onana, if he moves, he's looking for a move to a bigger club and be first choice. In fairness, Van de Beek, as Kevin Sullivan says, I just think he's the most underrated. And then again, someone says Van de Beek will be amazing, but Ajax won't sell. I can't see them being picked apart that much. They've lost their best midfielder, or their most highly rated midfielder, and they've lost their best. They've lost their best centre back, and they'll probably lose Ziyech as well. So I don't know whether they'll allow Neres and the likes of Neres and Tadic or any of these to go as well. But look, these rumours keep going, lads. The Coutinho stuff's still going. It's all just kind of, it's filtering out. There's different things filtering out, I suppose, slowly, bits and pieces coming out. I've changed my mind slightly on Coutinho, as I've said. I think there might be something in this. There may be. Paul Tabley says, is it our I don't know, AUR, sorry. I don't know what way they pronounce that name, and you won't be able to tell me by text, but I've just changed my mind on him a bit. Overmars is only interested in selling Ziyech because his contract is running. Yeah, fair point. Like, you get your money. It's a bit like Nabil Fekir. If 2 years left, Leon would be saying 60 million or nothing. That way they're having to cut their cloth accordingly because of his contract situation. But any other names? Anyone? Mel Reddy, etc. Very quiet. Yeah, Mel Reddy, Paul Joyce, James Pearce. They're all quite quiet. They are all quite quiet. Now, in fairness, if you go back to last year, they were very, very quiet before Fekir was nearly announced. They were very quiet, extremely quiet before Alisson happened, and nobody had a clue about Fabinho. The Shaqiri one last year kind of bubbled under and just kind of went along, and then all of a sudden it was announced. What's made me change my mind on Coutinho? Do you know what? Listen, if it was about Ari's had his number taken by Griezmann and stuff like that, that can happen. There's talk of Coutinho and was it Coutinho, Dembele and 40 million or something like that, a PSG offer, and that they refused. But now it's talk of it's all kind of, he's removed Barcelona from his Instagram bio. I don't know, his kids aren't going to school or something. It's all it's all a bit mad, but it's just, then there's talk of how much they owe us, and it's kind of keep going and going and going, and it's just one of those, it's one of those things that it just seems to be going on too much, and more things keep kind of popping up, and that's just, look, it could be just me being a bit sentimental and just thinking, yeah, I'd take him. Liverpool won't spend 90 million on Dembele. Lee, I disagree with you. I disagree with you. I think Klopp, that's the player Klopp would spend the money on. I think he's a massive fan of him from the time he was in France and on to Germany and now on to Spain. Mikey says Griezmann is number 17. If that's true, okay, there's one of the information thing that wasn't correct, and we can knock that on the head. Here we go. Bruno Fernandes, thumbs up, 25th of July. There's a comment in there. You can all see it coming up on the screen. Again, that's a serious name for me to read. Avin Hansre, I think is the name. But 25th of July, Mark Rignaduri's Bruno Fernandes to Liverpool. He's gone very quiet, but so is Asensio that was going on for a little while. Pepe's still there, Dembele, Coutinho, Firpo, Olmo, this guy Olmo. It's there's loads of names there, and as I said last night, and I was saying it to Peter Phillips, there's nothing really solid. Barry says, get over this idea, Liverpool will not spend X amount of money. That's in the past. I agree with you. Liverpool have plenty of money. They just won't be held to ransom, and a Liverpool tax put on them. And if a right player comes up, as I said, they may have 3 positions with 4 or 5 players in each list. I don't think it is that season. I think there might be 3 names on a list, full stop. And you know, it's something like that. Okay. Again, I'm going to try this name. Avi Hansra has said, mentioned Bruno Fernandes before. I never comment on transfer news, but trust me, it's done. LFC. Listen, you've put your proverbials on the table there. So we'll have to see. Grizz is in the house. Is Grizz in the house? I think he is. Last week, Phil, emoji with the mad eyes. You're gonna have to explain that to me. Well, we wait for Barca to be desperate. How desperate will they get? It'll all depend, I suppose, on if the Neymar thing happens. I don't know if they're that desperate yet. We're saving the money for Mbappe 2020. If that doesn't happen in 2020, a lot of people are going to be very, very upset. People are asking this guy to elaborate. He doesn't have to elaborate. He doesn't have to. Now they're all going to get on Grizz's back, so that's how we go. That's how we're going to get on here. But look, is there any other names out there? Is there any other things you want to chat about? Anything non-football? Any non-football stuff you have? You can throw it in there. You have about 3 or 4 minutes. Throw anything you want in there, and we'll have a chat about it before we finish. But tomorrow is Thursday. Just to let you know in case you didn't. Thursday, 10 o'clock. We're going to be on tomorrow night. Friday, 10 o'clock, and I think then are Liverpool playing on Saturday morning? Isn't that right? 1 o'clock Saturday morning. I might stay up and watch that. If anyone wants to stay up and watch it, let me know, and we'll stay up and watch it together. We'll have a few beers and we'll watch it. Can I just say how good was Peter Phillips last night? Top guy, comes on, gives his opinion, very measured. He's really good. Worst fashion fail. Oh, I have one for you. I genuinely have one for you. I'll give you that right before we end. What did I make of the Wimbledon final? The men's one, ridiculous. 2 unbelievable athletes. Is the Paddy Power shirt a spoof? It has to be. Frank, let me know if that's a spoof or not. This guy is good. I like this guy. Avi Hunter says Harry Wilson to Villa, 17 million bid incoming. Listen, if this guy knows what he's talking about, get on him. Grizz, you have competition. Should I start watching Derry Girls? Kieran Smith, you're obviously watching my Twitter. Absolutely watch it. 2 seasons I've watched. You get the 4th season on Netflix. I got my 2nd season on another outlet. And Frank says it absolutely is. The Huddersfield short is absolutely a spoof. But Derry Girls, yeah, go for it. The drive for 5 for the Dubs, yeah, I can't see anyone beating them. And then everyone will tell you have to split Dublin in 4 or 5. Non-Irish listeners won't know what's going on there, but yeah, I can't really see anyone touching them. I'm not a massive GAA fan, but can't see it happening. Where were we going? Junkies on O'Connell Street. I don't really be on O'Connell Street. Are they still there? I have a theory on what should be done with O'Connell Street. We get into that. Häagen-Dazs, Ben and Jerry's. Häagen-Dazs, please. Thanks, Barry. Did you see the Americans' response to watching the hurling? I was going to watch that earlier, and I was going to watch it, and then I didn't get to it. How can I join the day trippers? I'm out here in the States. Just stay with us here and watch it. Kieran, you're not stalking me. No, that's what Twitter does. I'm watching Derry Girls. It's probably one of my last tweets. Frank says Huddersfield wore that as a joke for one game, but people think it's real. Yeah, good one. I like that. I like that sort of stuff. So sure, let's all go with that. Favorite Tarantino film? Throw a few at me. You'll have to give me a minute. We're going over time, but we go. Davey Ennis in Canada says hello. Davey Ennis, the Leeds fan. Yeah, Davey's a sound fella. Really nice fella. Support Leeds. What can we do? We can't all have it all our own way. Lallana playing 6. Don't worry about that. That's not going to develop. Worst fashion one, I think people said. I remember going into Dublin City Centre Christmas Eve to buy Christmas clothes because that's what men do. Bought a shirt and pair of trousers. Thought they were grey. It was a fairly dark shop I was in. Came home, put them on, and it was fucking silver from top to bottom. So I put them away. Never wore them again. Got laughed at by my then girlfriend, now wife and brother, for days, if not weeks, about it. And we still talk about it to this day. So that's my worst one. Reservoir Dogs, great shout. Yeah, probably is Reservoir Dogs. Bulldog. Pulp Fiction. Yeah. Spice Burgers. Spice Burgers. Yeah, Spice Burgers are great. Did you do them in England? Did they make them in Ireland? They're amazing. I like Spice Burgers. This is getting Starbar or Double Decker. Starbar, please. But Double Decker runs it fairly close. I like this stuff. I really do. I might do one night where we just talk about this all night. Forget the football because there's no transfers happening. But we better leave it there. We'll be back at 10 tomorrow. We'll be back at 10 on Friday. If you do want to watch the game live, you watch it, I watch it. We'll all have a little chat while we're watching it. Let me know. Just message me tomorrow or message me Friday, and we'll go from there. We'll be back with you at 10. That's been the Fatback 4. Thanks for joining. Fatback 4 Daily. Sorry. Thanks for joining me. It's been good. It's been random. How long until the signing do you reckon? Within the next week. That's my guess. It'll have to be within the next week. But yeah, that's been us. Have a good one. Over now.